my eyes being red or acting differently. It's like, it's freeing in a sense, and it's boring. And not have to do that, there's a certain amount of shame that's involved in doing that and being another person, and you know, being acting and being sober when you're high. Right by the road over here, so there's cars driving by and shit. It's kind of loud. Hey, I'm Julian. I'm a couple months not smoking weed. Probably 4. No, I don't know. 3.5 months not smoking weed. Today and this past week has been especially difficult because I'm in a place where weed has been recreationally legal for a long time in beautiful Colorado, and where I have a long history of using weed when I'm here, and a lot of, different emotional connections to that and to the history of that, and how I've enjoyed my time here has been shaped by weed, and the friends I've made here and the people I've talked to and my the interactions with the different family members I have that live here has all been, in the context of being high. So, and a year or two ago, when I hadn't been smoking weed for a while, I relapsed here. And so this trip has been difficult, but also, rewarding in a way, because I haven't smoked weed and it's been, 5 days or whatever, 6 days, and I don't plan on smoking weed. And I still, as like the last video up at the cabin and in the wilderness, it's like I still have this yearning for the state change, the state change. But it's kind of at that point in the, in terms of making videos about this, these little like therapy videos for myself. It's kind of getting to that point where I'm starting to ask that question or have that sort of insecurity, like, at what point is not smoking weed and talking about not smoking weed a bigger deal than smoking weed? And no matter how hard I want to kind of force myself or walk my way into this relationship with weed that I would like to have, it doesn't really work that way. And I can, in that same vein, I can have these other relationships with drugs that other people can't have a casual sort of relationship with. So, fucking relationship with, as if I'm. It's a good word for it though. Um, to kind of think out loud about it, to answer that question of, is it a bigger deal? At what point does it become a bigger deal to talk about, of just talking about it? Like, at what point does it actually take more brain power to talk about not doing it than to just not do it and to not talk about it? And I guess I don't, I don't know. I don't really have an answer, but a positive perspective is asking these questions about weed and myself has led me to kind of observe and think about and ask questions about other things regarding my mental health and my happiness and my drug use and, my relationships, not just my weed relationships. um, it's like a chance to, maybe at some point this will kind of become just an excuse to to speak about and observe those other things about myself that are a challenge, that like is so universal, like, the subject of mental health and happiness. In the past, I've always been here, and it's interesting too because there's like this whole element of shame and secrecy, and I've always been up here and been, sneaking off and hiding my weed use and being, having this alternate kind of hidden persona, or hidden state that I was always sort of like, manipulating the image of who I was outwardly to my family and to, people. And to not have to do that, there's a certain amount of shame that's involved in doing that and being another person, and being acting and being sober when you're high, when you need to be sober but you're high. So it's it's a relief to not have to feel a lot of those, to not have to feel that I have to have this guard up about smelling like weed, or my eyes being red, or acting differently. It's like, it's freeing in a sense, and it's boring. And I don't know if it'll never not be boring to not be able to get stoned. Thinking about my weed abuse is like a portal into this other world of examining myself and putting words to like thoughts and observations I have about how I feel and what I want to do, and what drugs I want to do and what drugs I don't want to do, and how I want to spend my day. The highway right outside here, the county road, is so long and wide open that the sounds of cars going by is like a never-ending crash of an ocean wave, like just echoing out into the fucking, flat miles of sand. It's crazy. It sounds like in a city, like when a car goes by, the sound comes quickly and then dissipates quickly. Here it's like you hear it coming, and it right now. It's like I'm trying to fucking make it. It's like I'm fucking trying to talk to myself here. Can't you shut the fuck up for a minute? Stop driving. I hope any of that resonates with some of you, any of you. Yeah.